Thank you for your time. Your reaction to this news that affects upwards of 19 countries potentially.
Well, good morning, Bill. I think this is a fantastic decision. You can see it's thoughtful, it's rational, it's based on a set of data. Not only how long and how often folks are coming here on a visa and then just simply not leaving, the very thing that resulted in the tragedy in Boulder, Colorado. But we all know these nations. Look through this list. What do they have in common? These are terror havens. These are places without good internal security, very little capacity to help us identify or vet. And so you need a broad-based ban on travel from these places until they fix these internal problem sets and give us a chance to even have a hope that we can identify a potential risk coming into our country. I'm glad that President Trump pursued this. I'm confident he'll prevail in court, and this will keep America safer, Bill.
Mr. Secretary, in the first term, there was a list of countries as well, and the president cited the reason to bring this up again as the attack in Boulder. That suspect was from Egypt. It's not one of the countries on this list. Do you see potentially that list growing to include Egypt, or are there any countries that were not included this time around that you think might get this treatment as well?
Jackie, I'm confident that this list will change over time. We saw the risk during my time as Secretary of State change from these countries as well. And so this is a risk analysis on what we can tell about who's coming in, who's even possible to vet. And so I imagine this list will be both expanded, and I hope some of these countries will get their act together, and those countries can be taken off this list. This isn't about punishing these countries. This is about protecting and securing America. And we can see this threat is real and serious and growing, and something President Biden just simply refused to address.
Yeah, many folks may forget, we actually took the audio arguments from inside the courtroom in California when the first quote-unquote Muslim ban happened back in the first term. U.S. Supreme Court ultimately ruled this. 2018, the president has lawfully exercised the broad discretion granted to him to suspend the entry of aliens into the United States. The sole prerequisite set forth is that the president finds that the entry of the covered aliens would be detrimental to the interests of the United States. Griff Jenkins mentioned this. He said there will be court challenges, and on likelihood, David Axelrod was on that last night on CNN.
I'm sure there are going to be challenges to it, and we'll see. The thing about it is that there's so many fires being set all over the place that it's not going to get the same attention that the travel ban did in the first place. And they do have a responsibility to act responsibly in terms of who comes into the country. But we'll see where this all shakes out.
Okay, stand by for more on that. Meanwhile, there's another significant story that broke here this week, and that's 2 Chinese nationals arrested in Detroit. What they were bringing in appeared to be up to no good, and it appears also that Customs and Border Patrol was on the lookout for these 2. They've been arrested. They'll be in court in a matter of hours. Your reaction to what is happening there, sir?
Bill, I've been talking for years, and in the first Trump administration, we worked on the problem of the Chinese Communist Party, what I call inside the gates, and not the problems in the Pacific or in Taiwan, but right here at home. We shattered the consulate in Houston, and what you saw happen with these 2 trying to bring potential terrorist agriculture into our country is something that is a very real challenge for the FBI to keep its hands on. I think they did great work here. I hope that this is not just the tip of the iceberg and that there aren't others that did this and we haven't found them yet. But this risk that the Chinese Communist Party is working not only to bring fentanyl into our country, to bring agroterrorism or do something that looks more akin to what we saw in Ukraine or with the pagers. Those are things the Chinese Communist Party is highly capable of doing, and we need to make sure that we are putting all of our intelligence assets and all of our security assets aimed at protecting America from the Chinese Communist Party's efforts to take us on here at home.
Yeah, for those who might not be aware of what these 2 are accused of, they were apparently bringing in some sort of pathogen that would be capable of wiping out crops. Is this a pervasive problem? I mean, agroterrorism is not a word that we usually see on papers.
This threat, Jackie, and the threat from what I'll call more broadly bioterrorism is something that the first Trump administration worked on. I'm confident this one is as well. These bio risks are very real. Look, we saw what happened to hens and laying hens and our ability to deliver eggs to the market. When you can introduce injury and risk into the food supply chain, you can do real harm. And we saw with what happened in the Wuhan lab. We know that the Chinese Communist Party is working on many bioagents, and some of them I am confident they're working to figure out how they can deploy in a way that impacts the United States in a way that benefits them and puts real risk on the United States.
What's really interesting is the affidavit, and reading some of the text messages between the two, it appears that this was not the first time they tried this. We'll find out more within hours. Mike Pompeo, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Jackie. Have a great day.